Hey everybody, this video is for entrepreneurs who just want to avoid making costly mistakes in their business. In this video, I'm going to be doing a recap of my 2021 entrepreneurial year and just kind of reflect on some of the mistakes that I made and what I would do differently to avoid those mistakes and be a better entrepreneur in the coming year. So one of the first things that comes to mind here is I would just be more thoughtful about the decisions that I make. And, I think I generally am pretty thoughtful about things, but there are a couple things that come to mind over the last year where I feel like I kind of rushed my decisions on them, or, I just had sort of an impulsive brainstorming session with a couple team members and just decided on something and just, went for it. And I think the thing with that is that bad decisions end up really slowing down a business. And I've been able to see that over the course of this year where, I've looked back on some of the key decisions that I've made over this year, and they were the wrong decisions. And all of those decisions that were the wrong decisions were ones that I rushed. So I think there's never anything bad that can happen from taking, 24, 48, or 72 hours to really just sit down and thoroughly think something through and make sure that you are in fact making the right decision, because taking those extra 24 or 48 or 72 hours in the beginning of that decision-making process might save you months or even years of trying to backtrack from making a bad decision. So I would just be more thoughtful. The next thing that I would like to do more of in 2022 is just say no to more things. I think I have the personality where I like to be the guy that kind of, can help everybody out and says yes to a lot of things just because, I want to just be that guy that is helpful. But what I've found is that when I overcommit to things, I end up doing both myself and the person that I'm saying yes to more harm than good because I overextend myself. And, I just don't have the bandwidth or capacity to handle all of these different projects at once. And so in order for me to just be able to focus on things that actually move the needle forward and, the things that I should be working on that only I can work on in the business, that means that I need to eliminate all of the other distractions in my life, which means that I have to say no to more things. And so while that's not necessarily a fun thing to do, and I can't be that guy that says yes to everything and is always willing to help someone out. It's a necessary thing that I have to do in order to make sure that the business succeeds. And so that brings me to my next point, which is either go all in on something or don't do it at all. So this is something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, where we kind of tend to get shiny object syndrome, and we have this new idea that we really want to execute on, and it seems like the best idea in the world, and we drop everything that we're doing and we go and start working on this new project, and then we hit a wall and we stop working on it, or we lose motivation for it. And, we do that 10 times, and suddenly we have 10 half-finished projects, none of which are actually providing any value to anybody. And it just ends up kind of being this massive waste of time. And so that is definitely a trap that I found myself caught up in 2021 that I'm going to try to leave in 2021 and not bring with me in 2022, is just making sure that I'm focused on the things that really matter and dedicating 100% of my time and my effort and my energy into that thing that actually matters. There are always going to be these distractions, and there are always going to be good ideas that I have, but that doesn't mean that I have to execute on all of them. I need to stay focused and be all in on that one thing. The next thing is just to make sure that I'm carving out time each day, or at least each week, to learn something new. So I found that, I can kind of get caught in a cycle where I'm just like doing things and doing things and doing things and working on the business and, just trying to move the needle forward just by kind of hammering away at projects. And when I look back on 2021 and even 2020 and 2019, the times where I've actually been able to make a significant impact on the business was when I was able to, speak with someone who was doing better than me, or take the time to join a mastermind and connect with other people that, have more successful agencies than I do, or read a really good book and get a really good idea and actually implement that idea and see it through. And so I think taking time to actually make sure that you are steering the ship in the right direction and actually learn from people that have done it before is really, really important, because otherwise you can just kind of get, sucked into just working on projects all the time. And you might spend your entire year, working on projects and getting them done, but they're not the right projects to work on in order to help you grow. So taking time out of your day and out of your week to just learn from people who have done what you are trying to achieve is absolutely critical. And it's something that I'm going to prioritize in 2022. So the next thing that I'm really going to try to focus on in 2022 is just getting better sleep. So I have found that I operate much better off of a full 8 hours of sleep than if I try to short myself and get 6 or even 7 hours of sleep. I just find that I am able to focus much better. I think more clearly. I'm able to make better decisions. I'm more creative, and I just all around feel better. So that is something that I'm really going to try to prioritize in 2022. Now, I also place a focus on waking up very early. I usually wake up around 5:15 or 5:30. And so that means that in order to make that happen, because I still think that that is very important, I'm going to need to get to bed earlier. I'm going to try to get to bed around 9 p.m. every single night so that I can still get a full 8 hours of sleep and wake up at 5 or 5:15 or 5:30 with that full 8 hours, fully refreshed and ready to attack the day. So the next big thing that was a huge takeaway for me in 2021 and is something that I'm really going to prioritize in 2022 is just the fact that mindset really matters. And I think a lot of people hear that and they kind of blow it off, and they just think that you need to hustle and hustle and hustle and everything is going to work out. And well, yes, hard work is very important. I think mindset plays a huge role in your success, just believing that you can do something and making sure that you're making all of your decisions from a positive headspace and not letting the stress get to you. I personally have noticed that when I am in a positive headspace and when I'm just, feeling really good for an extended period of a couple weeks, that things really start to click in the business and, clients start to come on board, revenue starts to increase, and just good things in general start to happen. And I think that having a positive mindset plays a huge part in that. When you can build habits that facilitate coming from a good state of mind, you make better decisions, you think more clearly. You're coming from a place of abundance and not of scarcity, so you can be more aggressive with your decision making, which usually yields better results. And so, while it sounds kind of crazy, I do think that that stuff actually matters. And so I'm going to prioritize things like, again, getting a good night's sleep, meditating, reading, hanging out with positive people, and just doing things that I enjoy to make sure that I can show up every day with a positive headspace and make the best decisions that I possibly can for the business. So those are all of my biggest takeaways from 2021 on how I can just improve as an entrepreneur and just get better in 2022. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm coming out with new videos on a weekly basis and sometimes more frequently. So hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video.